The question is, who is Michelle Obama? Is she really a woman? Is she a man? Every time I look at Michelle or Michael Obama, the first lady or the first tranny, every time I look at them, something doesn't look right. She doesn't look like any black woman or any woman I've ever known. She's got shoulders that are wider than a man's, which physiologically doesn't happen. Again, you can put 3 heads on a man's shoulders and only 2 heads on a woman's shoulders. That's a known anatomy. And then women generally have wider hips than men do. You look at her arms and the rest of it, when she's standing straight on, she looks like no woman I have ever seen.
Good afternoon, America and the rest of the world. Xander J. Hobson here, stand-up comedian and entertainer, director and producer of boxing documentaries, and troll to those who need trolling. This here is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Folks, listen, we're trying to grow the platform, so please subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means leave a comment in the comment section, because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of view with you. I cannot stress enough, please hit the like and share button so that this video can get out there into the algorithm and I can grow my channel.
Alex Jones was recently commenting on something that Joan Rivers said about Michelle Obama. And of course, it was something that was a little controversial. I'll let you judge for yourself. Take a look at it.
Do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
So anyway, you got clowns like Alex Jones and the late Joan Rivers referring to Michelle Obama as a trans woman. Now, first and foremost, right, there is evidence that Michelle Obama is definitely feminine. She's a female. There are enough pictures of Michelle Obama online that can be pulled up that pretty much proves that she's a woman. But nevertheless, in their desire to be mean, Joan Rivers and Alex Jones have referred to Michelle Obama as a trans woman. Now, in my opinion, in this day and time, that's probably one of the biggest insults you can hurl at a person, is to misgender them intentionally. Because again, if you look at any woman and you refer to her as a trans woman, basically what you're saying to that woman is, oh, excuse me, you are so masculine in your appearance. I thought that you were initially a man, and vice versa. If you said such a thing to any man, oh, I'm sorry, I thought that you were a trans man. You're saying to that individual, oh, your characteristics and your appearance is so feminine, I initially thought that you were a woman. Well, it's easy to hurl those type of insults on the internet, but if you were to make a comment like that in the company of the individual whom you were referring to, that's a comment that could more than likely get your jaw broken, because that is something that is very offensive. People get into confrontations all the time for misgendering people. I don't know much about this Alex Jones fella. I started checking him out when I started doing this video. But the one thing that I can say about this man, he's an idiot. The reason why I'm calling this man an idiot, not so much because he was on the internet trolling Michelle Obama, is his theory about the 3 heads theory. It is something that is so asinine. I'm not going to try to repeat it myself. I'll let him repeat it for you.
Michelle or Michael Obama, the first lady or the first tranny, every time I look at them, something doesn't look right. She doesn't look like any black woman or any woman I've ever known. She She's got shoulders that are wider than a man's, which physiologically doesn't happen. Again, you can put 3 heads on a man's shoulders and only 2 heads on a woman's shoulders. That's a known anatomy.
That is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. Now, if you're asking me, Alex Jones is one of these white guys who clearly hated the Obamas. And for a little bit of clicks and views, Alex Jones got on the internet and started making inflammatory remarks about Michelle Obama. It's purely clickbait. It's something that when he even made the comments, he knew that it wasn't true. But again, now Alex Jones has a bunch of people talking about him when he knew good and well that what he was saying was absolutely absurd. We live in a time where everybody is clout chasing, and what better way can a racist come up with a way to clout chase than to call the then First Lady of the United States a trans woman? So that's my spill on Alex Jones and his angle for making such inflammatory comments about Michelle Obama. Now, when it comes to Joan Rivers, in my opinion, she was a very nasty and mean-spirited person.
In her memoir, Melissa wrote, "In hindsight, I think my mom hated more people than she liked. She had a fake flight manifest labeled Death Flight 5000, which had the names of all the people she hoped would be on board when the plane flew nose first into a mountain."
Her daughter even said as much. She hated more people than she liked. Now, more than likely, the main reason why Joan Rivers was the way she was because she's a very ugly woman. You look at pictures of Joan Rivers when she was young, you look at pictures of Joan Rivers when she was older, the woman was ugly. And I don't believe that Joan Rivers just had an issue with Michelle Obama. I believe that Joan Rivers had an issue with any woman who looked better than her. To prove how ugly Joan Rivers was, according to Joan Rivers' daughter, she had cosmetic surgery close to 300 times. Now, if that's not a clear definition of a person who is not happy with themselves, I don't know what one is. Often enough, ugly people tend to be mean and hateful because they're not happy inside. It's hard to be a nice, friendly, happy-go-lucky person when you are ugly. Joan Rivers is the type of person who more than likely would take a job killing baby seals with clubs. And when it came to Michelle Obama, more than likely, Joan Rivers had a deep-seated envy owing to the fact that Michelle Obama was black. And not only was she black, she was this confident woman who ended up being the First Lady of the United States. When it comes to ugly people, most ugly people, if they can find an outlet to vent their venom to the world, oh my God, they're terrible. They can be outright dictators. Joan Rivers found the way to vent her venom to the world by becoming an actor first and then a stand-up comedian. If you are an ugly person and you want to get up and vent your venom to the entire world and have it presented to the world as if it's a joke, stand-up comedy is the lane for you. And that was Joan Rivers. She was an ugly woman. And she got up on that stage night after night, berating people and harassing people and saying all kind of mean and nasty things. And at the end of the day, when she came off of the stage, she could cloak her venom in comedy.
She said it funny. She said it funny.
You know, it's funny. The first time I saw it, I didn't think it was funny. But like the way we just edited it there, we cut off the end and the beginning, and like it's much better. Like it's actually pretty fun. We don't know it.
Well, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's crazy Aunt Joan. She can say whatever she wants.
Guess what? As a comedian, you can't take a person like Joan Rivers seriously. This is why I used Alex Jones's clip first, opposed to Joan Rivers, because if Joan Rivers makes a comment such as Michelle Obama is a man, well, in all actuality, you can't really take Joan seriously because she is a comedian. But for a guy like Alex to take something that a comedian says seriously and make videos about it, that just goes to show you the extent of his stupidity. But back to Joan. Again, when you have a person who was as ugly as Joan Rivers, they take every opportunity that they can to try to take cheap shots at others, especially those who they feel look better than them. More than likely, Joan Rivers was probably a person who had a very hard life until she became a celebrity and later a superstar. But no matter how much Joan Rivers achieved, that still didn't change the fact that she was ugly. When I think about an ugly person like Joan Rivers, I can't help but to think about the Nazi aviator Hermann Goering. Hermann Goering was at a party on an occasion and he was drunk. And this woman said to him, "General Goering, you're drunk." And Hermann Goering turned to the woman and looked at her and said, "And madam, you are ugly. Tomorrow I will be sober and you will still be ugly." And that was the case with Joan Rivers. Very ugly woman, vented her anger on stage for years, made all kind of inflammatory comments publicly, and she could cloak these nasty comments around comedy. Hey, I'm a comedian. You can't take me seriously. When I close, in closing, when I think about Joan Rivers, I'm going to say this. Joan Rivers was the type of person who pretended to be nice, but in all actuality, she was really a nasty person. So, these are my thoughts on the comments about Michelle Obama being a trans woman. It's absurd. There's plenty of information out there, pictures that says otherwise. Now, on the subject of Barack Obama being the first gay president, maybe he was. I know that the LGBTQ got a huge boost during his administration, and for the most part, Barack Obama pretty much legitimized everything that the LGBTQ was pushing for. So, you won't get much pushback on me as far as Barack Obama being the first gay president. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Who knows? And in this day and time where everything LGBTQ has been legitimized, who really cares? So with that said, folks, I'm done with it. Bam!